Hi, Father Phil again on this series, What Do We Believe About the Sacraments? And today's reflection and the one that will follow it are on the two sacraments that we call the sacraments of vocation, marriage and holy orders. So today, the sacrament of marriage. And I could certainly speak about the theology of marriage, the rite of marriage, the history of both the theology and the ritual, but I don't have any lived experience of the sacrament itself. And like all the sacraments, the theology of the sacrament is always practical. In other words, the sacraments are not ideas, they're not concepts, they're not a theological dissertation. The sacraments are explored, engaged, and embraced in the lived experience of those who participate in them. The true meaning of each and all the sacraments is realized when we live out in our words and our actions the grace that is given to us from God through the risen Christ and by the power of the Holy Spirit. If this was a longer session, we could go through each of the 7 sacraments and see how that plays out. But just that general statement for now. So, what does this understanding of the sacraments and of the sacrament of marriage shape what we believe about marriage? Although it was several centuries before the it was several centuries before the church declared that marriage was one of the 7 sacraments. Its roots lie in the ancient relationship that God established with the people of God in what we know as the Old Testament scriptures. This remarkable relationship was called a covenant, a word that we still use today to speak about Christian marriage. A covenant is a relationship, an arrangement, although relationship is a better word than arrangement, between two people. Two people who pledge to love each other unconditionally and who promise to remain faithful to each other and who make these promises until death. This twofold promise of unconditional love and fidelity is expressed in the very words that a couple use when they exchange their vows in the wedding ceremony. And the wedding rings that are then exchanged become a profound symbolic gesture that this promise is both given and received by a woman and a man who then are a bride and a groom, and then a wife and a husband. Because of the covenant nature of the promises of marriage, the church says and believes that marriage is an image, a mirror image of the marriage between Christ and the church. This is a beautiful expression for couples to celebrate, to know that their loving, faithful bond is a share in the relationship that Christ has, not only with them, but with the whole people of God. And so the couple, and it's not just to share in that relationship, it's an actualization. It's a visible, tangible expression of the divine human friendship that makes real the extraordinary love of God in our world. We believe then that marriage is a vocation, that it's a calling from God, that two people who are deeply in love with each other will in turn call each other into an ever greater love, not only for each other, but for everyone else. Just as with the other sacraments, marriage is never just between two people. It's about the larger community they live in, that they will serve, they will care for, and then they offer that to God as their gift of thanksgiving. We believe that an important part of that gift is the gift of family for those couples who are able to bring children into the world. What better expression of their love could there be than to give birth to other human beings who in turn will be signs of their love and truly children of God? Marriage, we believe, makes couples co-creators with God of all that is beautiful and good and grace-filled in the world. What an extraordinary privilege. I pray that you know such blessings in your love for each other.